Hi, I'm Yan Toby-Amisi, and today we're going to do some music video analysis. Today the video we're going to be looking at is The A-Team by Ed Sheeran. Now, as an A2 media student, it's important that I use the correct terminologies in order to get across what I'm trying to say, and I must analyze the video as much as I can. We're going to break the video down into three parts: image, relation of visuals, and representation. Without further ado, let's go on. A little bit of background on the music video itself. The story Ed Sheeran tells us through the lyrics is of a young girl's journey as she is unable to gain any source of income. She is reduced to a life of drug use, prostitution, and destitution. As we analyze the video, we're going to see how this has been portrayed and how breaking down the video into three relevant categories will greatly aid us in grasping the true meaning of the video. Let's have a look at the image that we can see. The image is clearly in black and white and demonstrates a significant amount of dead space in the beginning of the video as the song begins. The black and white feel of the video helps the audience to recognize the gloomy atmosphere that the video is trying to put across, and is made evident when we see her sleeping on a park bench with a large piece of cloth on her. To link this to the relation of visuals, this is clearly illustrating the message of the song, such that when it says she is struggling to pay rent, showing us that the girl is indeed poor and struggling. These elements help us to infer rather quickly that we are following the narrative of a girl who is suffering, and we are given only the incentive to watch more. To relate this more to representation, we can see that the girl is fairly young, give or take around her early 20s, or perhaps even a teenager. She is dressed as the stereotypical rebellious girl, as she does not seem to be glamorous or even clean for that matter. We can say that the representation of the rebellious teenager is exploited within this video, as she is seen glaring at the trees and holding her arms out to the sky. This is considered symbolic, as the lyrics refer to angels flying, thus reinforcing this notion. With all these elements, our inference of the rebellious girl being reflected in the lyrics would not be too far from wrong. The next part of the video provides a different outlook on the girl's predicament and seems to almost make use of the dead space it had in the previous section. As we can see in the image, she is almost thrown into a claustrophobic atmosphere, surrounded by people who pay no attention to her, almost making her seem unimportant. The notion that teenagers are ignored by adults and that the lower class are ignored by the higher class is a constant theme in this section, as she is continuously walked past and ignored despite her pleas. She seems almost monotonous, reflecting the black and white tone in a different way. Without colour, the world is boring, and thus without life like she is. She is a different person to what she was before, and even when the artist Ed Sheeran appears, she retains his focus and further enhances the meaning of the song. With the relation of visuals, it can be said that the image illustrates the meaning of the lyrics and thus stays constant. However, it could be argued that the passing of time that is shown in the video when it speeds up is amplifying the meaning by adding an element of fantasy to the video. The way she is represented is much different from what she was represented as in the previous section. Here she is shown as an average beggar in the street who watches life go by, and instead she is confined to a space that she seems unable to move away from, which is amongst the people. This could refer to how teens are considered out of place in society at times, and her hoodie may be a prominent sign of both this and how she tries to hide herself from society, thus showing the different outlook. In the final section of the video, we are shown a much more different outlook, which makes the video all the more dynamic, unique, and also original. Here in the image, we see the change in the personality as she takes on the role of a prostitute who has grown weary of being a beggar and is trying to find a way around a problem of income. The black and white theme changes yet again when we see the side of her, as it can be argued it is now a depiction of a great darkness inside her that she cannot escape from, and the white is simply her hope, which is now lost, hence why in the previous section she scratched her white hoodie, which could imply she was doubting her hope, and it was nothing more than just an itch. When we see her in the mirror changing up her appearance to seem more sexually provocative, notice the mirror itself. It is dirty and stained. It could imply that she is maybe looking at the darkness in herself, and the mirror is slowly decaying as she brings this side of her personality out. It could also imply that she is staining her soul repeatedly with her intentions, and the dirt on the mirror shows her flaws as she is applying makeup to conceal the sadness. The part where she is with the man and she is committing prostitute activities is also somewhat of a symbolic part as well. We do not see her or the man's face at first when she takes the money out of his breast pocket, perhaps showing that she was searching for treasure and love because it was by the man's heart, which is also ironic because he has paid for sex with a prostitute. The black and white theme of darkness plays a big part in this section, mainly because we do not see the man's face, and given that what we have seen the girl go through, his hand sliding across her body makes us feel more sympathetic towards her. This is where the relation of the visuals come back, and they are perfectly illustrating what the lyrics are saying, or at least on the same lines and following the same themes. The man can be characterized as a demonic figure who feeds on her confidence, hence leading to her guilt and suicide in the end. She is represented as a stereotypical prostitute in this, a girl who, with no other options, is given the option to become a prostitute and does so in order to provide for herself. The title of the song, The A-Team, is revealed to be a subtle way of saying the A-Class, which refers to the illegal drugs that the girl takes right at the end of the video. We see this when she goes back to her apartment. We can see that her door says 24, which may be a reference to her suffering, as it is on a black door which practically screams the message, suffering for 24 hours. The angels have a greater emphasis as she is seen falling into darkness and oblivion when she is supposed to be the one flying. It could refer to her giving up. The relation of visual stays the same and illustrates the lyrics once again, while the representation of this is a little different. She is now a drug user who dies as a result of trying to end her own suffering or elevating her sadness for a moment. Overall, the music video is a conceptual video as it tells a story, and even if the artist features for just a moment, there are no instances of a performance at all. Applying the modern mythic embodiment theory, we can say that although the artist is signed to a massive music company, there is really no star image in this aside from the cameo, and even then it is not that much to endorse the artist. The song itself is a controversial one as it talks of a prostitute with a drug addiction and money problems that understandably people would not want to hear. The song itself is juxtaposed, as the actual sound of the song may be reminiscent to at least a jolly nature or neutrality. Either way, it does not prove that mythic embodiment and allows us to see a part of dark society that we have not seen reflected in music videos. I've been Yan Toby-Amisi. Thank you very much.